Good evening and welcome to Formula Pi Challenge Round 8 Session 1. Sorry for the slight delay in us getting online tonight, but YouTube had changed to beta mode and I couldn't find how to turn on the live feed. But we're here now, we've made it. Tim said he had the same trouble on, when was it, last week, Wednesday, and he couldn't work out how to turn it on either. I think the new UI hides a lot of the functionality you need just to go live. But we're here and back for the final challenge round of the series. My voice might give out as we're doing this, but it's fine. We'll see how we're doing. My chest infection is still very much a thing, so sorry. So without further ado, I will kick off with tonight's first set of races. Let me just double check that everything is set up and ready to go. I believe it is, so let's wind up spin view and get everything moving. So, first up tonight in heat number 1 on the left-hand side, we have returning for the second time this series, it's Deep Purple, who are currently sitting joint 20th. They got a first in their first challenge heat and then didn't compete for the last 3 rounds. So really, that's the only thing we have to go on. They got 2 laps in their last challenge and they took the win. Their best lap in testing round 2 was 17.34 seconds, which is pretty good. They're from Aarhus in Denmark, so good luck Deep Purple making a return tonight. And on the outside, in their first Formula Pi season, we have SDSU Robotics Club, currently sitting 14th in the leaderboard. They won their first challenge and came second in their second challenge, so all bets are off tonight as to how they're going to do those so far. Best lap in testing was 16.61 and 16.94 is their average time, making a real improvement in testing session 3, which I missed, but I have caught up with it on the old replay, just like you can if you go back onto the YouTube channel and see all the videos we've uploaded so far this season, and you can catch up with what's going on. Good evening if you've joined us in the chat. Hello. We have placed tonight's Trollbots. I think they're particularly mean tonight. I had to actually go up and moderate the meanness earlier on because at one point they were pretty much in a line across the whole track, which would have made it impossible for everyone to get by. But we've been a little bit nicer now, and they're like 2 little tiny walls of joy, because the pile-ups all seem to happen in strategic places, right, when we're racing. It's always on the first apex, or it's on the entrance into the S's, which is why we've put them there tonight. Tim chose the positioning. I had to moderate him slightly because he was very mean the first time round. I had to tone his meanness down. So yeah, we're good to go. Tim's giving me the thumb up. So yep, send them away, please.
Okay, start light sequence, please.
I've got a glass of water. Hopefully my voice will hold out tonight. So green, red, green, and then we are away. Can they avoid the Trollbots tonight? And they're off. Both robots have got away from the line. That looks like Deep Purple going the wrong way to start with, but hopefully they'll straighten themselves out and get okay. SDSU piled straight into the first robot and are now pointing at the sky, which is no good for your working out where to go. Deep Purple now coming round into this absolute chaos. Are they going to be able to get around it? Yes! Nice bit of avoidance there by Deep Purple. And straight to the inside line. Beautiful. Well executed. Bit of manoeuvring there by Deep Purple. A welcome return for them this season. This should set them off very, very well for future races. Excuse me. I'm still suffering somewhat. This is a bit more tricky. Now, it looks like SDSU have actually spread the robots out to make avoidance even harder round that corner. But it looks like Deep Purple have got... they were around it. Now they're reversing. But now getting straight back into pushing the robots around. I'm not quite sure why SDSU is now causing to reverse around the track. That is intriguing. I wonder what caused them to do that. Interesting start. They were doing so well. Tim has chimed in there further down, so that was about the 1 minute 50 mark. I'm just writing down these times, because we have a cunning plan, which we may be executing tomorrow. But we'll have to let you know more about that tomorrow, if it happens. Because, I'd hate to say you were doing something and then it doesn't happen. So it's a maybe. Basically, keep your eyes peeled. Something will be happening. It'll be enjoyable. Looks like everybody has quietened down now. Everyone's stopped. Deep Purple they completed a lap and then reversed back across the line, which means everybody is on 0. So what does this mean in terms of who wins this heat? I don't think we've had this, because technically SDSU are further around the track still. Sorry, Deep Purple are further around the track right now. I mean, it's nul point for everyone. Sorry? Aaron's missed the rules. It is null point for everyone because you need at least 1 lap to score points. However, it looks like everybody has stopped. I can see the wheels are still spinning on the SDSU Robotics team car there. So there is still somebody home. That is an interesting one as well. They're just caught, and I think their camera probably can't see past the wheel, so it maybe doesn't detect that there's anything there. It might be able to see clear track from that camera. Don't know what the width of the lens is like, but this is definitely a null point for everyone so far. See if they can free themselves here. I'm still very coffee. Clock is running down here. That is a definite 0-0 for everyone. I think Tim can hear the grinding of the axles there. Tim, any technical insight on what could have caused that little crash? Are you going to come over and have a word whilst we set up the troll bots? And because I suspect that camera
caused that little crash.
Well, SDSU Robotics, I think that camera would have struggled to see past the wheel where it was.
Yeah, it will have. It's actually, it wouldn't have been blocked by the wheel. It would have been seen past the side of that, I think. But what happens is the robot sits there and sort of because the wheels are still turning, it's bouncing up and down, and the bouncing up and down isn't enough to overcome the threshold of it's stuck for the stuck detection to come on. So
can you turn up the sensitivity on that, or
you
turn
can
down the sensitivity on that?
You can turn up sensitivity, but then you run more risk of having, as the robot's driving around, everything's fine, and it goes, oh, I'm stuck, because there's not enough changes, or yeah.
Okay. Maybe that's one to make note of.
Something you could potentially do there is to make your stuck detection not just a value, but some sort of progressively increasing, so the sensitivity increases with time with a false positive or with a negative. Ignore me.
So you could make say a variable that says, have I moved? Yes. Then don't add anything. Have I moved? No, +1. Have I moved? No, +1. And when it gets past a certain threshold, you say, okay, I've now not been moving enough, so I'm going to then do something else.
Yeah, you can have it reset after a very obvious change in the position in the track. So as it's driving around, you can clearly see that things have changed a lot. So rather than just having a threshold of has something changed, you can sort of see by how much. And that would reset your counter, and you can sort of accumulate a value up to the point of it really hasn't changed for a long time. So yeah, it's an idea anyway.
Maybe that's one thing to note down. Yes, I think so. Looking at each other with plans. Right. So to recap, that was Deep Purple and SDSU Robotics failing to put any laps on the track. That means 0 points for both of those racers. Probably won't impact much in terms of their leaderboard chances at all. So
would that be 0 points for both robots?
Yes, I would say so. Oh, we're just conferring with Aaron.
Would that be 0 points for both robots?
I will move on to introducing the next two robots whilst that is discussed over the radio. Next up we have previous Formula Y champions were Team Yoshi, now Team Crosshead, currently 15th on the leaderboard, with a first, a second and a fourth. Best lap times performed in third round of testing were 15.82 seconds with an average time of 16.22 seconds. So looking pretty speedy now as the season gets to the pointy end. So good luck Team Crosshead tonight in this one. And next up, Fishy Pie. It is Chitty Pie with all of the eyes. So many eyes. They are currently 10th, so sitting on the bubble, ready to go into the B final. They have a second, a third, a first and a second. Their second half of their season has really looked good, and their best times so far this season have been recorded in the second testing session at 16.54 seconds and 16.69 seconds. They have previously got 9ths and 5ths in Formula Pi, so made the A final last year. Can they do it again this year? They would need a very, very good challenge round here to push them up the leaderboard, to put them into that A final position. Let's see how many points they've got. 18. They would need a very, very good lap count here, maybe 12 or 13 laps, and we've not seen anything close to that so far this year. I think the most we've seen was from Pico Hulkenborg, which was 9 laps. So if they can get close to 10, that will push them up into that final position. But it's all to play for. It's still fairly tight between those robots at the in the B final. It's anyone's call. 6 points is all they need to draw level with 5th place, and I think Team Muon are going tomorrow night. Yep, so they have entered. So they would need to do 6 points worth of laps plus a little bit more to be absolutely secure of being in the top 5. Right. I've got a thumb up from Tim. What was the verdict from Aaron? Sorry, before we move on.
He believes that, yes, that is, they will have no points.
They will have no points, so that is 0 for both those robots, confirmed from Aaron upstairs on the track. Right. So, Tim, please send Crosshead and Chitty Pie Pie away.
Okay, start light sequence, please.
This is going to be a tasty little battle because these two cars are within 0.4 of a second on the average lap count of each other, which is pretty good. So let's hope they both get away okay and can navigate around that horrible set of trollbots. Ooh, dicey in the first corner. Pie Hard going for the inside line, looking for the gap, trying to make a gap. Can they get through? 2 cars stuck here. Ooh, bulldozing their way through. Chitty Pie Pie just going, whatever, I don't care. That inside line needs to be opened up. I'm just going to open it up, and I'm really going to make sure that it's opened up down by going backwards through it. No, Chitty Pie Pie, turn round. That's it, they've turned round. Oh, it's making me cough. They're piled in, both robots still moving. Neither of them have got past the wall of trolls yet. Good evening if you're in the chat. I'll dip in and out as much as I can. But it looks like that's Team Chitty Pie Pie freeing themselves. And they're off, they're away. That is good for them. Sneaking through. And off, first lap on the board. So they need at least 3 here and the win to put a good position for themselves onto the leaderboard. I can update you with provisional positions once we have done this heat. Come on, Chitty Pie Pie, let's have it. Ooh. Team Yoshi seems to be pitched. Sorry, Team Crosshead seems to be pitched on that robot. Oh, there's some really loud bangs just above my head. I think that must be right above my little desk. Well, that's currently banging because that sounded really, really loud, even through my headphones. It looks like Chitty Pie Pie now have lost that lap that they just put on, but Team Yoshi have now been freed. Oh, peril. So this could give Yoshi the lead if Chitty Pie Pie can't catch up. Oh, I didn't notice them sneaking back around. I was trying to work out how Team Yoshi were going to free themselves off on a stuck robot. Trying to note down all of these things. They pull into the back of the robots again. Oh, I'm so sorry about my cough. It's not getting any better. Chitty Pie Pie still trying to clear out the track as best they can. Level on 1 lap apiece here. Both Yoshi and Chitty Pie Pie now going through. It seems like they're synchronised in the way that they're getting through that gap. That's interesting. They're both clearing and then running off at the same time. Now Crosshead have struggled with the upside down, but they should be able to self-right themselves. Maybe they've got some code written in that can do that. But it looks like Chitty Pie Pie have done enough now to clear the line that they want on the track. And they are now taking the lead half a lap ahead from Yoshi, who are now flipping themselves over on the apex. But I think Chitty Pie Pie have just snuck in and done enough here. Oh, there's a reboot. There's a reboot from Chitty Pie Pie. Oh, so that... Sorry, not Chitty Pie Pie. Crosshead has just rebooted underneath the thing. I saw the green and made me think of... But it's not. Chitty Pie Pie are fine. Can they get across the line to get 4 laps in? This will be a great set of points for them. They can just... Whoa, close. That is... a really tight, but that will do wonders for Chitty Pie Pie's assault on the final now. So to recap, Team Crosshead in second place with 2 laps, taking the win in that heat. That is Chitty Pie Pie with 4 laps. So provisionally, that moves them. Oh, I haven't updated my spreadsheet. Oh, not quite, Tufty. So that will definitely move them up the leaderboard. That is 4 laps is great. That's 10 points, so that pushes them up into 4th place at the moment provisionally, but we've still got quite a lot of teams left to run, so I doubt it'll stay like that, but that's definitely a really, really promising heat for the team from Poole. So we're at the halfway point. So whilst we reset the troll bots, I will say the big thank yous that I always have to do every week. And Tim didn't say thank you last week, I don't think, so we need to say thank you twice this week, effectively. Did you? Or did you not? No, you didn't. Shook his head. First up, Team Lamillo, experts in DevOps and security stuff for big computing, businesses and government. Check them out if you want to get some serious DevOps advice and consultancy. They do really good stuff like that. IQaudIO, the best audio hats for the Raspberry Pi. I am biased. They are coming up in the next heat, so we need to support them as much as we can. Looking good for them. Electromaker.io, hardware hacking community based in the south of the UK, but available on the internet at your own leisure. Lots of wonderful makes and hacks and projects on there. Go and check them out. Next up, Mod My Pi. Of course, I'm biased. I write for them. They are my employers, and I love them very much. But we have all of the lovely Raspberry Pi stuff for you to go and check out. We'll also be at Pi Wars in 2 weeks, and we'll be at Guild of Makers this Friday. POSIX, accurate positioning systems for the Raspberry Pi and Arduino. Ruben, I will get back in touch with you, I promise. We still love you. I'm sorry I've been so busy, but I keep meaning to get back in touch with POSIX and have a chat. I haven't, but they've sponsored us too, and they're lovely. If you want to sponsor Formula Pi, get in touch, please. info@formulapi.com. We'd love to hear from you if you'd like to help out run the previous seasons. Yeah, that would be a bit of a stretch, wouldn't it? Would you like to sponsor the previous seasons that have already run? I'm not very well. I have been I feel like I have done the commentary through every single cold I've had this year so far. I've just been permanently ill, so I really apologise for that. That was really good. Right, so let me wind up SpinView and introduce you to the next two robots that are waiting patiently to get going whilst I'm chatting. Tim's filing his nails, he's got so bored now. Next up, on the outside, Formula Pi expert now, I'm going to call him, Swinders from Waterlooville in the UK, programming since 1983. Lots of previous great results in the 4 seasons he's competed in so far. Second is the best results. They've got seconds across the board this year so far, so hopefully we can go one better in this heat, with best lap time of 16.84 seconds in the second round of testing. And next up, the aforementioned IQaudIO from Cricklade in the UK, suppliers of wonderful audio hats for the Raspberry Pi. Go and check them out. Currently sitting 18th in the series with a best lap time of 17.31 seconds performed in the first testing session. So good luck to IQaudIO tonight, who are back for more. I've just realised I did not write down results for Swinders the last heat. They were third in the previous race. With 27 laps, it's pretty impressive actually. A pretty impressive count there. I imagine Aaron is freezing cold now, waiting to go. Yes, please, Tim. Send away these two robots.
Okay, start maxing.
Place your bets now as to who will be winning. Swinders says, tonight I'll be testing the Monster Ball Trollbot Plow and Restart code. Excellent. Good news. If you'd let us know earlier, we'd put a little scoop on the front for you. Swinders has gone straight on. Gone. IQaudIO have just glided round the Trollbots as if they're not even there. Oh, apart from the second ones. Not quite. So the IQaudIO bot is having struggles getting round that robot. Swinders is now going backwards. -1 lap for Swinders. Great avoidance though in reverse. Not sure that's what you're intending for. IQaudIO is making that Trollbot section a little bit harder by moving it around. Swinders is having a look to see where the next opportunity to turn around is. Now IQaudIO have gone backwards by 1 lap. But now Swinders is going the right way round and will now unlap himself to start his campaign for this challenge proper. Let's see if Swinders can get through. As promised, it is the plough through the robots technique. Wonderful. Parting those two robots like the Red Sea, hopefully will give us a nice plough. There we go. Make the hole like the Chitty Pi team did. Smash through, crack on. Hopefully it'll clear your way for the next few laps. Almost at the halfway point now. I hear a lot of banging just above my head. That's really quite loud. I'm not sure if the mic picks that up before the cameras show it. I can hear it. It's quite loud. Swinders clearly struggling to get past this robot. Now the ploughing. Oh, the ploughing method. IQaudIO is undoing all the good work you've done on the ploughing front. I wouldn't recommend this as a strategy. I would say this is not the best avoidance strategy. So far, it looks like Swinders will take the default win, but you still need a lap to get the points on the board. This could make it really tricky for Swinders now, who is currently 9th on the leaderboard, so if a good challenge was performed here tonight... Oh! Peril! Swinders has gone back round to unlap to get the -1, bless you. IQaudIO have gone to 0 laps, so now IQaudIO technically lead. Swinders is now in 2nd, but no points will be awarded because you have to get more than 1 lap or greater on the leaderboard for points in this particular version of racing that we do. Swinders now coming back around, and IQaudIO are going in reverse. It's like coordinated laps, they're just taking off each other. -1, 0, -1, 0. That's, I think Aaron just made a little mistake, tapped the wrong way there. There we go, -1. That was what I was expecting. I think Aaron was desperate for someone to get a lap. Oh, there we go, the restart. So hopefully that's what you're trying to test, Swinders, is a reboot, if that would happen. It's just happened now. I'm not sure if there'll be enough time for the robot to boot back up again to do the test you wanted. So, you might run out of time here. So the testing you wanted to do hasn't been achieved. Ooh, that was a tricky heat. It was a tricky heat. So not quite the impact I think you were expecting, Swinders. Oh, it's just come back on. If Aaron's casual, oh, it has restarted. Okay, so nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. It didn't restart. That was nothing to do with things. But Swinders, it might have worked. I'm not saying anything. So to recap, no winners there. Swinders on 0, IQaudIO on -1, which will count as a 0 in the leaderboard. Interesting heat, that one. Different. 9 laps is the record for the best number of laps we've had so far this year. That was held by Pico Hulkenborg. I don't believe anybody's got any better than that. I will just double check. No, 9 was the best. So far that was done in the first round of racing and hasn't been matched yet. Pi Hard got very close with 7 laps. They will be racing tomorrow night in one of the last heats to go. Whilst Aaron is setting up the next robot, I will update this. Sorry, I'm doing 8 or 9 tasks and my brain is still quite fuddled. Tim, any comments on the last one? Don't think there's any. Do you want to come around and give a technical comment before I move on?
Probably not much in the way of technical comments on the robots themselves. I mean, obviously that was just a drive as fast as possible and hope for the best sort of code, as opposed to avoidance, I think.
So one question I have, we've seen with Team Crosshead and with Swinders there a little bit actually, robots pitching up on the back of another robot and getting stuck and only viewing a ceiling, but the wheels are still spinning, right?
Yes.
So, first question I guess would be, is that a hard stick? Like, is that really like a mechanical, they're stuck, and even if the wheels are spinning, they're never going to get it off?
No, it's because the robots are still driving forwards. They are looking for tracks.
That's my second question. It's looking for tracks, it can't find any tracks. Is there any code in the default library that caters for that instance when the track can't be found?
No, the only 2 sets there will be, the only ones I can think of anyway, are the avoidance code in the first place and there'll be the inverted track detection.
So that would be an interesting thing for people to work on then. It's possible if you get beached on the back of a robot or on the barriers, which we have seen quite commonly in racing.
Yeah, I think
ceiling detection.
We did hear people sort of trying to
ceiling cat detection,
ceiling detection code. But no, I think we've also got some sort of. I was having this problem last week. We've got some sort of problem with the this. What do you call it? Lap count display. Aaron's actually sending me all sorts of.
Have you got your phone on the internet?
No, it's not on the internet.
I was about to say, we need the internet for these sorts of things.
Yeah. So
Tim's showing me some command
all
line
sorts
stir.
of exceptions here. So that's what's been taking a little bit of attention.
Is that this evening?
That's this evening.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So there is an issue with the lap counter. Oh, I can see it from here now.
Yeah.
There's lots of Python exceptions I can see from here.
I'm going to ignore that, but we might, if this sort of starts reading something a bit weird.
The only don't give way or don't
No, that will be why.
Okay.
If it reads, if the lap counts read strange values, it's because we've got a problem with that
Right.
code.
I did notice the timer was missing at one point, so I thought that might have been an issue, but it did reappear when we started, so I don't
Okay.
think it's been too much of an issue. Please shout if you see anything, everyone, because...
Next robots.
yes, please. I will just do spin view. Just one moment whilst I spin for my life. You'll have to apologise to Aaron because we're chatting. Right, next up we have on the outside the Think Robot team from Villeneuve d'Ascq in France. They've got many years of coding between them. Currently sitting 17th. Currently sitting third on the leaderboard. Previous result was 17th. They've had firsts almost exclusively this year, which is great. Really strong performance from them this year. Third in their last race, which wasn't as good, but they got 29 laps. They basically it could have been a first in any heat, but they were just in a stacked heat. But they have done really well, so third position for them. Looking to improve tonight on their positioning if they can catch up Pi Hard. And Pico Hulkenborg will help them. Next up, House Robot runs the basic code, doesn't really do anything special, just here to make up the numbers. That's all I can say, really. There's nothing extra about this robot at all. That is all. So Think Robotics team here have a chance to catch up the teams ahead of them. They are 14 points behind the Pi Hard team. That means they would need a 7-lapper and a win to take the lead here tonight. That's before Pi Hard have run. They need to put in at least a Pico Hulkenborg record matching result. Rewind. Just stuttering. Go on then, off we go, please. Yeah, send them away.
Okay, start light seconds, please.
So let's see how. I think we're both coughing. We both sound really healthy. Both robots are away. That is the Think Robotics team struggling to get off the line to go in the right direction. The House Robot is away, although they are ploughing into another. I think robots have gone backwards. They did struggle with this earlier in the year. I believe they had a testing session which was like that, but that should have been fixed by now. We are hoping they can reverse back round and see what's going on. Sorry, I've made some notes. Okay, so the House Robot has now got through. Think Robot looks like they are perched on that robot, but the House Robot's going through now to take the first lap. 1 point to the House Robot. Maybe 4 points in total if they keep it. The Think Robot can't free themselves. Previous results for them, they got 3 laps in their first challenge and 5 laps in their second challenge. So really, we're expecting them to get 7 if they're going to go by the numbers that we've got written down in front of us. If we're going to find a sequence in that, I know that my addition is absolutely fantastic. But fingers crossed, they'll be able to free themselves and crack on. And again, this is another, like we were just discussing a minute ago about the ceiling detection. It's obviously. If you don't have it, a robot can just keep ploughing on because they're looking for the track, so they're not going to do anything different other than go forwards. They've just freed themselves. So something might be something to think about for competitors if you are stuck. Fingers crossed. Swinders has said the house code does seem to do rather well. Yeah, but you said that and it's just ploughed into a robot, so I don't know. That's not a reboot? I thought it was. House Robot's now just calmly sidestepping everything. Yes, it appears that the Think Robotics team have now put themselves into the Austin Powers configuration. Which Austin Powers is that? Gold member? It's the one with the little truck in the corridor. That's basically what they've done right now. That looks like that is pretty much the end. How have they managed that? I was busy watching the House Robot to check out its lines as it was coming around and I missed that completely. Obviously pitched themselves off and got jammed. So that's it for the Think Robots team. There's no way you can get around that. If you get stuck like that, it's pretty much curtains, I think. I don't think there's much you can do because I can see it's going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Short of the House Robot ploughing in and pushing all the robots out of the way, I think that's probably curtains for them tonight. So that was a chance for them to get more points on the leaderboard, but that leaves them quite open to attack from the other teams below them. There's quite a lot of teams that are nibbling at their heels in the leaderboard below. House Robot here doing quite well.
Not supposed to.
Sorry? The House Robot's not supposed to do well? Okay, says Tim. Well, we need to nobble it then, don't we? Take a wheel off. You can loosen the wheels. You're in charge of that sort of thing. That sort of thing. So that's it for Heat 4. Not the ideal round there for the Think Robotics team. That is really going to damage their challenges. Fingers crossed they can still keep in the top 10 after that. It really all comes down to the last race for them, I think, now. But that's it. Think Robot team with -1 laps, and the House Robot getting 6 laps in and a first place. So, were you about to say something, Tim? I thought I heard you mumble. Nope. Shaking your head. Oh, you're coughing probably. Yeah, that's fine. Right, next up, and finally, for tonight, heat number 5. On the left-hand side, we have current second place competitor. It is Pico Hulkenborg from Oxfordshire in the UK. Seconds and a first in their last race with 33 laps. So good performance from them so far. Best testing lap times are in the first heat with 17.2 seconds. Previous 2 series of Formula Pi under their belt. This is their 3rd now. And next to them, their sibling robot, it is SerGPIO Pirez, again from Oxfordshire in the UK. This is their development team. So now both teams running up against each other. It was going to happen at some point this year. The random algorithm is truly random, I promise. I wrote it, I know it uses .shuffle. This was going to happen at some point. There were odds on for it happening. It's tonight. So fingers crossed. Both robots doing quite well in their previous challenges. Actually, incidentally, SerGPIO Pirez is the only one to have taken a win so far in the challenge. So this could be interesting. The SerGPIO Pirez team are in 6th place. Pico Hulkenborg is 2nd. So both robots could end up in the A final here if they both get a good result. Interestingly, I'm not saying there is team strategy, because there isn't. You can't predict you're going to race up against your teammate. There was strategy here. If Pico just let SerGPIO have the extra 2 points, it would really help them, and you might get 2 robots in the final. Just saying. But if it goes the other way and Pico smashes it and goes for another 9-lap wonder, yeah. Oh, so they have got 1 lap. Sorry, I misread my handwriting. They have got a first each because Pico holds the challenge record. I misread my handwriting. So yes, they both have a win. So odds on. Please, Tim, send them away if they're ready. Are they ready? We had 2 minutes? He's shaking his head. Both coughing. So last heat for tonight before we go away and come back again tomorrow night. Yes, please send Pico and SerGPIO away, please.
Okay, start light sequence, please.
So Pico on the left with the red LED, SerGPIO on the right with the green LED. Both robots having a think, doing a little disco dance. It's the glitter. It makes them really like funky dancing. Ploughing into the back of the first Trollbot thing, but reversing, having a think. Seeing the second one. Oh, can they get around it? I think they're going to make a gap, possibly. Oh, that's a restart. Oh, for Pico Hulkenborg there as they bounced off that first robot. I am assuming Pico has restart code. I'm fairly confident we've seen that before from this team. So restart code we have talked about, actually. It's been a hotly talked about topic. There is a few ways of doing restart code. Maybe that's a third topic we could have to discuss in our little technical talks. So this is looking like SerGPIO Pirez here, struggling to get a handle on this to start with, but let's see how they get on. Pico has restarted now, so as I said, the restart code exists in this robot, so there are certain code that you can write in the libraries that allow you to avoid... Oh, so avoiding each other. Nice bit of avoidance on either. Good. So Pico is trying out some new avoidance here, but is struggling, but has got around the first set of robots. Now around the second set of robots, so this should be 2 points on the board for Pico here as he crosses the line. First lap done. Halfway through now with 1 lap in, still very tight on that apex, but this little wall of robots, causing some trouble. There's a flip. Will there be another flip to get back to the right direction? That would be ideal, because then you've got a pretty much open door. Oh, they have made a door though. Really thinking hard. So this is a definite touchy-feely approach to avoidance that we're seeing here, as their robots are approaching another robot and then making the decision to avoid, and even doing it on each other as well, which we saw earlier on. Looks like SerGPIO Pirez is struggling a little more than Pico. Pico's now made a gap, So that should definitely help. Ooh, nice avoidance around the first robot, just struggling to respond in time for the second robot. But through again, so that is with a few bumps and definite avoidance there of that edge of that robot. But now the sibling robot is stuck in the way. They're both causing each other a little bit of a headache, but it's alright. Pico's through, 3 laps on the board here. So possibly a 4th in before the end of this, maybe, if they can get around cleanly. Nice, lovely bit of avoidance there through that gap, which they've now made for themselves, nice and thick. But good, we've got through. So that's 4 laps on. That'll be a little bit 10 points in total. SerGPIO getting the 1 lap in. I think they're probably going to struggle to get another lap in here with the amount of time we've got left. But that was good. Nice to see some avoidance there from Pico. A bit more touchy-feely. And definitely you can see them making absolutely conscious efforts to get past that robots. Excellent. Good work. Any comment from you, Technical Tim? I'm going to rename you now. Tech Tim. Technical Tim. Tech Tim. All right, you're going to shuffle over to the microphone whilst I write down some results. Any comments on that?
Well, I positioned those troll bots as difficult as I thought. That's kind of my intention, is to try and make things difficult. And
so rude.
Well, it is.
That's why I just calmed you down.
I was quite impressed by that.
All robots
they've
did quite well
managed
tonight,
to drive around at least. Yeah, they've done the right sort of thing, and I think that is the right strategy to win Formula Pi.
The more touchy-feely avoidance rather than the hell for leather. Which one are you?
What we just had was, the house robot do a stupid amount of laps, but that is entirely based on luck. It equally could have just crashed and got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, what this approach should do is over time you should get more laps. So we'll see.
Yes, we certainly will. So we will be back tomorrow night with the final 4 heats, I believe. Yes, we've got 4 heats to run tomorrow night. I don't think there are any needs for any investigations there tonight. I think everything ran pretty smoothly, so I assume that those 4 heats will be the only ones we'll be running tomorrow night. Tune in 6:30 again here on YouTube. Hopefully I can find the on button more promptly tomorrow night. I've still no idea where it is. If somebody's got any expertise in using the new YouTube live broadcasting panel, please get in touch, because we have no idea where any of the buttons are, and it wasn't clear how to go live. The old panel's really intuitive. This one's not so much. So we will see you tomorrow night. As I alluded, we are planning a little extra something. So don't zip off so quickly after tomorrow night's heat if you're watching. We might be doing something. I can't promise anything. We might. Anyway, that's to make you come back tomorrow night, because, we'd love to see you again. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 6:30, same place. Have a good evening. Bye-bye for now.